What's up and welcome to the Indie Credible Podcast Season 2 Episode 4, a weekly podcast. We get together and chat about the world of indie gaming. We go through all the indie games we've been playing throughout the week. We go through the latest indie game news and we go through a main topic. This week's main topic, which I just realised Dan hasn't got a clue what our main topic is.
It's going to be a surprise for me.
This week's main topic is based around the news that Xbox are bringing Xbox Live to the Nintendo Switch. Did you hear about this?
No.
Oh, there you go.
I'll wait until the big news. I'll wait until the big news. We'll get into it.
So that's going to be our main topic. Our thoughts on that Xbox... not Xbox Live, sorry. Well, let me explain it. Xbox Live is coming, but more importantly, Xbox Live with Xbox Game Pass is coming to Nintendo Switch. And we're going to discuss that as an idea and what that means for the future of cross-platform play. But as I have said earlier, or a minute ago, with me as always is Dan from At The Dice Bear.
Hey, how you doing?
And you can find me at What's Up Woody, pretty much anywhere. How's the week been, mate?
Well, I mean, having just heard that Microsoft news, I'm now just...
Did you not hear that?
I didn't hear that at all, so I will have to wait. I've had a good week. Good, yeah.
I always forget that I'm probably one of the people who are very much in the gaming news, because I have so many emails pinged to me.
Yeah.
And I always assume that everyone else
is getting those emails.
Seen this news, because I said it to your brother as well, and he was like, "How's that going to work?" And I was like, "Have you not read about it?" He was like, "No." I was like, "How's no one heard about this? Are
you sure you're supposed to talk about it yet? Did they put please don't talk about this?
I've then saw more of it on Kotaku, Game Informer, and Eurogamer all had big pieces on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't been in the news this week getting into it because I've been doing other stuff. But
that is. Well, I'll explain more later. I've read quite a lot into it, and it's very interesting. But yes,
exciting.
As I said, this is the Indie Credible Podcast. You can find us, or you are even watching us now on YouTube. If you are, thank you very much. And the benefits of watching us on YouTube is any game we speak about that we've been playing, you'll see the full trailer playing as we're talking about it. And any games we're talking about at the end or throughout the show or in the news, you'll see on our little screen behind us. So it kind of gives you context to the games we're playing. So if you think, that game sounds interesting, you can actually see if it looks interesting at the same time. If you can't watch it on video, then it doesn't matter. You can get us in audio form. We're on pretty much all podcast services, iTunes, Soundcloud, Player FM, God knows what. There's lots. So I get pings from lots of places. So just type in Indie Credible Podcast and you'll find us around there. And finally, we are also on Patreon. So if you do like this podcast and you're watching on YouTube, you want a complete ad-free experience, $1 a month over on Patreon gets you that ad-free experience as well as exclusive pre and post-show content. This week we spoke about our thoughts on Apex Legends, the new Respawn Battle Royale character shooter game.
Yeah.
And God knows what we'll speak about at the end.
We'll see what happens.
If we don't know, you don't know. It's a nice surprise. Simple as that.
Yeah, we never know.
Yeah, we never know. And also on Patreon, just for $1. So all that for $1, as well as this, you get access to our Indie Credible Discord, where we often part if we're playing games, if we're playing Apex Legends, we're playing other stuff like that. We throw up there. We're jumping on this down PlayStation. Anyone want to join? People come and join. $1, and you can join the Indie Credible community over on Patreon. Enough of the spiel, enough of the formalities going on to it. Should we dive into what we've been playing this week?
Let's go for it.
I know you've only been playing one, so
I've only been playing one, yeah.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, go for it. Because you've been playing it as well.
I've played half an hour of it, and then...
is that all you've played?
I deleted it.
Oh, whoa. Wow, okay. I take it you really didn't like it then.
Hated it.
So we've been playing Rogue Aces, one of Curve Digital's 2D side-scrolling shmups, kind of.
2D with 3D models, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's a nice little shooter that's really easy, is what I say about it. It's really easy. I kind of enjoyed the start of it. I like the little British voices and that lot that are going on there before you go on missions and you take off and you shoot stuff and there are tanks down the bottom that you blow away. You're like, this is okay. And then you realise that the first couple of times I screwed up the flying.
Okay.
I screwed up the flying. I went into the ground.
I don't know what.
I didn't do the whole tutorial.
Okay.
So I thought circle would fire some rockets. It doesn't. It ejects you from your plane.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's my guy going? Didn't bother deploying the parachute. Thought, why bother? Why bother? It doesn't do anything.
Quicker respawn.
Yeah. And then once you get used to the flying, you kind of just do circles. You can avoid stuff. Once you've completed your mission, you go back, you land on your ship.
Yeah.
I played a couple of hours of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was alright. The missions are alright. I think it was free, so it's part
that's
of the
it.
PlayStation
I jumped on it
Plus.
because it was
so,
free.
Yeah.
And it's, anytime there's an indie game on PlayStation Plus, I jump on it straight away and give it a go what it's like. So I literally wrote 4 words on here. I put generic, slow, easy, boring. It felt generic because it felt like any 2D side-scrolling shooter I played.
Yeah.
The flying felt so slow. I was like, oh my god, like my objective's over there. I'm like going towards these bombers like, I know where you are, like come on. I get that I'm in a Spitfire, but...
Did you press L1 to use your boost?
Yeah, and then it goes, oh, your fuel's getting low. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell, like, you're making an arcade game and then you're putting sim mechanics in it. What the fuck's this all about? And then it was sort of slow and it was so easy, like you said. You just go in circles and I was like, Jesus Christ, like, come on. And then I wanted to see how long my time of death was, so like getting shot. So I didn't shoot them deliberately. I just drove, I flew, I flew, then round and flew underneath these bombers, other planes. I honestly was going for about 5 minutes before they shot me down.
Yeah, it takes a while. The only times I've died is because I've crashed into things.
And then, again, like, so from the word go, I found the mission so boring. It was like, go here, kill this plane, come back. Go here, kill these bombers, come back. Go here, drop bombs here, come back. And I was like, okay, I get it's a flying game, but like, for example, I know it's a completely different style of game, but the, like, Bomber Crew had like...
Well, yeah, Bomber Crew is completely different.
It is, but it mixed up its... It's... What do you call it? Missions, if that makes sense. Whereas this was just like, go here, shoot this, do that. Go here, shoot this, do it.
I don't know. Shmup. You can't do anything else in the shmup. I mean, it's not a shmup. It's not nothing to dodge.
No,
yeah, it's not really. Yeah, it doesn't have that hard, but it is a shoot 'em up.
I just found it.
Shooting.
I felt like I could go. Like I'm babysitting my nephew who's 4. There you go. There's a controller. Go play that game for 5 minutes, and then they'll go. I'm bored now, and they'll be like, I understand why you're bored now. There's a controller about, but it kept you entertained for 5 minutes. I don't know why. I think I was just very bored playing it.
The bit I kind of liked about it was that it's a survival game, so it's how long you can survive for.
Yeah.
So once your plane explodes, that's it, game over, right back to the beginning, and you start again. And you've got to see how many days you can survive for, really.
You get 3 lives, don't you? 3 planes, is that right?
If they blow up and you can land again, if you don't land in the right place, that's it, you're screwed, game over, start again.
Okay.
So you can land back on your ship, run back to a plane, do bits like that, but mainly you're not doing that.
You never die anyway.
Well, I do, because I crash in the ship.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, way, look, shit. And especially,
I did that first time.
Because you don't get enough bombs to smash the tanks. There's one where you've got to go and destroy like 6 or 7 tanks, and you've only got 3 bombs you can drop, so you've got to fly low. Oh, I don't bother that.
Okay.
No, I'm a hardcore
Is that what you're meant to do? You're meant to probably go back, pick up bombs, go out,
but why would you? So I go low, and you can shoot them, and you can fly through them. The only things you have to dodge are the buildings.
Okay.
So you just go low, shoot them up. And I suppose if I went back and did it properly, that would probably be a better way of doing it.
But
there was no need, because the flying is nice and simple. And
I mean, it's free, so give it a go. But I'm just saying that I genuinely, after half an hour, I was like, I haven't got time to be playing games that I'm so bored of. So I
don't think it's a game you're going to be playing a lot of.
I deleted it. I was like, I'll take back the extra 700 megabytes, please. And
I'll have that back.
Get rid of you. Yeah, and it's annoying because, you know what, I feel like Curve have had a bit of a lull recently. Their games have been a bit weak.
How do you mean?
So they put
I'm trying to remember the Curve ones, because I always get them mixed up with Chucklefish, because they were right next to each other. They
got Pumped Up BMX out, which I played a preview of, and
yeah.
it was like a bad version of Trials.
Yeah.
And Smoke and Sacrifice was okay, but way too long. That was that.
I remember that one. It's quite nice art style.
It was nice art style, but I mean, I love long games. I put 10 hours into that game, and I was like scratching halfway through it.
Yeah.
And I was bored after 10 hours because it wasn't. If you're going to make a game 20 hours long, you can't rely on the grinding mechanics. If anyone's going to stay around for grinding mechanics, it's me.
Yeah.
You have to give some kind of story. And when you worked out what was going on with the story 4 hours, 5 hours into that game, you're like, okay, this is a bit of a dull revelation. Like,
yeah,
cool. Yeah, I mean, they've got Apex Racing Apex coming out later this year.
Yeah,
which looks good.
That was good.
So yeah, and that's all you played.
That's all I played this week. Yeah.
Okay.
One game.
It's
like having Tom here.
I planned to play 2 other games, but I actually only played 1 game because I downloaded Beacon, which you can speak about later on.
Yeah.
Because we'll speak about why I downloaded it later on. but haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Okay.
So I picked up, it cost me 31p, because my gold coins on Switch is what you get for spending too much money
Spending
on
a lot of money on Switch, yeah.
Pool Panic, do you remember this? This is the one that came out last year. It was you play as the cue ball, and it's a puzzle game, you got to walk around, weird art style, Adult Swim games, you got to pop the balls in the thing. Do you remember it?
No. I'd probably avoid it.
If you Google it quickly, you'll see. No, it's not. That's the thing. You'll see straight away because you were excited by it.
Oh, was I? Okay.
Yeah. As soon as you see it, you go, I remember it. It was very weird. So it has got a very. You can see on the screen now, or you can see actually these ones are played big trailers. It's got this very weird Adult Swim style art style. As I said, you play as the cue ball. You have to jump onto these levels. They're called tables, effectively, and you have to walk around and line up the cue ball and pop the different balls. And there is like yellow balls are scared of you, so they kind of run away, and you've got to wait for them to stop them, and you've got to pop them quickly.
Okay.
Then these green balls are like they jump and slam down, and then they've got a cooldown period where they jump, slam down, and they can't be hit or moved. There's lots going on. Basically, you have to pop the balls, get to a certain score, and then the
oh yes, yeah. I remember it now.
And then the black ball can be pot, and you fall into the pocket, and then there you've done that mission. Okay. Now I was really excited when I saw this game was reduced to like £3. I think it still is £3 on the Switch, and it will be when you guys see this. I was like, sweet. Went to buy it. Do you want to use your coins? Yeah, I use my coins. 31p. I was like, fucking hell, 31p, brilliant. Jumped into it. And the first hour, I was like, this is really fun. This is cool. It's quirky. It's cool. I played it quite late at night. Popped on the bedside table, went to bed. Next day, I was like, I'll play some more Pool Panic. I played about another half an hour of it, and I was like, was I really tired of that last night? Because it just was so boring.
Okay.
Like, once you've done the first couple of puzzles, it's just like, there's nothing new to learn here. Like, the puzzles are very easy.
Right.
Then the idea is you have to do 100 puzzles to get this big thing to open up and then go to the top. I don't know what's at the top of the thing. I've done like 47, 48 puzzles. I'm probably not going to do any more.
Okay.
And that's taken me like 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get that many puzzles done. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know what it is. I was trying to put my finger on it by, I turned the music up. The music's okay. It's not brilliant. The art style kind of is okay. The humour gets very grating after a while because it's trying to be like Adult Swim, but it's just too much of it. Imagine Rick and Morty, but there's a joke every 5 seconds. It's just like, well, that's a bit boring now. And yeah, just there aren't. It tries to make it interesting, but as you saw, there are some levels where you have to do really weird things, and there's like mini golf levels, and it tries to do interesting things like that. But it's just there's no challenge whatsoever because you can just see exactly where the ball's going to go and things like that.
Because of the classic ball game mechanic, you see the line that goes off where the ball's going.
I don't know. I was sitting there, honestly. It's one of the only games I've sat there. I put the Switch down. I sat down for about 20 minutes and was just like, how could they make it better? If I was to make it, what would I add? And I couldn't think. I think it's an idea that on paper works brilliantly.
Yeah.
In trailers works brilliantly. At events works brilliantly. But then the whole game, you just go, oh, wait a minute. The hour I played at the event is just the same thing for 5 hours.
Right.
And I honestly think it's just a case of that. It's just a case of people didn't realise that it's too much of one thing. I maybe having like, rather than having this big open world to walk around and things like that, maybe just going, it's a $4.99 game with 20 levels. And they will get a bit more wacky. That would be a lot more fun. But just making it so big, like I don't want to go and play any more of it. I'm just like, okay, I'm sure there's some very interesting levels in there. Like the motorbike level you saw in the trailer, I've not seen that level yet.
Right.
But I don't feel compelled to go and play any more of it. And it's a real shame because I was genuinely looking quite forward to playing it. But it's free, I think it's £3.31 or something, £3.41 or something like that on Switch at the moment. It's got a certain amount off. So if you're interested to go see it and if you like Adult Swim, you're probably going to quite like the humour going on there.
Yeah.
And it does, in full credit to it, it does try to do something different. It does something that we've not seen before in puzzle games. Taking a classic pool mechanic and making it all a bit weird and quirky. And I fully respect it for that. I'm not exhilarated or excited enough to go back and play it. Like, so I'm just like,
You've had a pretty bad week then, haven't you? 2 games you weren't thrilled by in the end.
yeah, it basically was that. That was. I will say I haven't finished Rain Swept, but the review will be up tomorrow morning of recording, so it will be up by the time you guys get this. I won't say any more thoughts on that because I leave it for the review.
Okay.
I will say one thing. I really enjoyed it. I'll leave it at that. Really enjoyed it. But full thoughts, you can check the review out.
Yeah, cool.
You might have even seen it by the time this goes live. But that's what we've been playing, isn't it? Not
It
tons
is.
this week.
Not tons.
Because we have been putting a lot of hours into Apex Legends.
We have.
And you want to hear our thoughts on it? $1 a month.
$1.
Over on Patreon, watch our pre-show. Treat yourselves. Hey, when the
Treat yourself.
When the partner goes, birthday soon. What do you want? Do you know actually? I've just $12. $12 would be good.
One year.
$12 would mean 1 year subscription to Indie on Patreon. I tell you what, there's not much else you can buy for $12. You're talking probably 4 hours of extra content on the pre-show. This
What, for $12?
Yeah,
You get far more than that.
probably a lot more than that. Yeah.
Far more than 4 hours extra content. We don't shut up.
No. Access to the best Discord. It literally is voted the best Discord.
Did you vote for it?
Yep. By us, it was voted the best Discord channel. And,
I haven't voted for it.
He would vote for it though. He's IGN. We pay him enough. He'll vote.
Yeah. That is how I work.
That's it. Yeah. And no ads. No ads on these on the video. So yeah. $12. Remember that. News.
Are we heading to the news?
Go to the news.
News.
Okay, news this week. Not a ton of news this week. Only 4 news stories to go through. But some pretty well. There's 5 to go through. But the last one, the big one, is one we're going to speak about at the end as our main topic. Up first, we mentioned this game last week, or Tom mentioned this game last week. Dan was a little bit like, it looks okay. And that is A Plague Tale: Innocence. Now, Plague Tale: Innocence over the last 3 weeks has been having a web series release. If you don't know what a web series is, it's effectively a dev diary kind of going through. But rather than going through how the game was made, basically, they're kind of going through their inspirations, I suppose. They're kind of taking you around the French city or village they live and how they've used that for direct influence to the narrow streets and all things like that, and how they took photos of this and what research they've done, and then there's like interviews with the children actors and things like that. Yeah, but the final web series called Children of the Plague, and it does focus purely on the children actors, or mostly on the children actors, is available now. I'm not normally a huge fan of dev diaries. I find them often quite generic and quite boring.
Yeah.
They don't, because they can't give away spoilers, they don't ever really do much. They're like, you can play as a duck. Yeah, we modelled the beak for about 2 weeks. But like, they're normally just a bit, do you agree, dry, boring.
Yes.
I mean, there's a reason, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, there's a reason devs are devs. Because
nice, man.
Is it true, is it? Do you agree? There's a reason devs are devs. There's a reason when we go to these trade shows and we go to EGX, we
don't let the devs
to the press. We speak to the PR people.
Yeah.
Because we don't really speak to the devs. Because I loved him, but the only dev I spoke to at EGX Res was the guy from Disco Elysium. And he was a really nice guy, but like he was straight up, yeah, I wanted to do this. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about right now, mate. Like, I'm so confused right now. And it's nice seeing how passionate they are about their games. But not all devs are great when it comes.
And they don't really want to talk to us. They
No.
want to make their game.
Yeah, they want to be in a cupboard under the stairs. Not because they're Harry Potter. Yeah. But no, anyway. I've actually found this web series quite interesting. It does give insight more into it all. And because it's based on, obviously the game's based on real world events, the Black Plague. It kind of shows you why they chose that era, where they've gone with that, and what their real motivations were for making it based around the children and all things like that. It's quite interesting. You haven't seen a web series, have you?
No, because I have no interest in it.
No.
Is where I am. I think, it looks like a kind of interesting game, but it looks incredibly linear, and you've got to do more than make rats move because of light to get me excited. Sorry, that's my opinion on that one.
It's fine. Next we move to a game you've probably heard about. I think everyone's heard about this game over the last 2 years, and that's Astroneer.
Yeah.
Astroneer's been in early access and game preview for literally 2 years. And this week, it finally got a full release. The game is available now on Xbox and PC. It's not on PlayStation yet. It could be coming to PlayStation though. If you know what Astroneer is, it's a kind of sandbox exploration game where you play as an astroneer who's on a planet and you have a life link to this pod, and that is it. And you have to kind of excavate the land, collect resources, craft things, build your life supply up. You can only explore as far as your little lifeline can go, and you kind of just explore the planet. There's lots of hidden stuff on the planet. There's caves, there's old ancient monoliths to explore and find out. And when I say story, please don't think it's a narrative game. There are snippets of like what this planet is, or when you go into these caves, what civilization maybe lived here beforehand and things like that. So there's areas to it. Coming into full release, the game got a lot more customization options. It got 4-player multiplayer. It got new structures to investigate and more of this hidden story to kind of piece together. I played it about 18 months ago, and the game was buggy as hell back then.
Yeah.
But I liked the idea that they had. I was like, this is quite a chilled out game. You could just, there's no combat. You could just sit back and just play for fun. Just go, I'm going to have 2 hours where I'm just going to sit back and have a cup of coffee. I'm just going to excavate the land. I'm going to build what I want. I'm going to go where I want, and all things like that. There's no story. There's no objective. There's no going here. There's no going there. It's just do what the fuck you want.
Nice sandbox game.
Yeah, and that's it. It's got a nice sort of quirky, low poly art style to it, and full release now on PC and Xbox. Have you ever thought about jumping into Astroneer?
To be honest, it went off my radar for a while because it has been so long since we first saw it. It's one of those ones that disappears.
It's a shame, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Like, and I know this isn't an indie game, but I'm going to use it as a quick comparison. The difference between announcing a game, and I know indies kind of have to do this because they don't get the attention, but releasing a game 2 years ago and then going, it's out now, we're here. Yeah. People are like, oh, I kind of played through everything you had to offer. Like a lot of people are like that with Dead Cells because they put Dead Cells in early access.
Yeah.
And I'm worried people are going to be like that with Prey for the Gods or Prey of the Gods because that's in early access now.
Yeah.
And I never get why story games like that go into early access. Just go. I get they might need the funding. I get they might have to go, okay, we need people to buy this game now to finish the game.
Yeah.
I understand that. But you're then going to just... People who are running on PC and console, for example, say your brother.
Yeah.
And might go, oh, stuff, I'll get it in early access. Play through what it is. Not have a great experience with the game. Then the game gets released, say, in 6-9 months' time on console and go, nah, I'm not buying it again. I bought it once. I didn't really enjoy it.
Well, what's worse is if when they release it on early access, a lot of people will play it not fully understanding what early access means. And they'll play it and they go, oh, this is buggy as shit. It gets a whole load of bad reviews. And then by the time they finally do release it, well, you've already had a shitload of bad reviews. Everyone's forgotten about it. Why bother?
This is one thing Steam do really badly. Your reviews you get from early access carry over.
Yeah, into your full release.
Yeah.
So you sit there looking through it and go, well, that has just been slated.
Yeah. And it's like...
It's not like indie games don't have a hard enough time already getting any sort of bloody published.
Multiplayer games completely understand. Like, why they go early access? Because they need to be stress tested. And, like, indie game can't go around and go, oh, this weekend we're having an open beta.
Everyone like, jump on. Who are you?
What the fuck is this? Where people stumble across it on Steam and go, oh, $4.99 in early access. Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
It's like PUBG. The only reason PUBG got so popular was because people stumbled across it on early access, and then all of a sudden people were like, "Oh my god, this is amazing.
Let's play this."
Yeah, and then that was it. Snowballed. But yeah, so Astroneer, it is out now. If you're excited by it, then good because it looks like it had a lot of good content. It's saying I've actually owned it on Xbox. I would be interested to jump back into it.
Yeah.
And see how it goes now.
Is it on Game Pass? It's not on Game Pass.
It's not on Game Pass, no.
I might wait for it to hit Game Pass.
I think it will come to Game Pass. I'll be amazed if it doesn't come to Game Pass. Next up, Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Oh, yeah.
Kingdom Come Deliverance, the open world RPG. I say Skyrim loosely because everyone compared it to Skyrim.
Yeah.
Without all the fantasy elements and the dragons. Got his third piece of DLC this week. It's called Band of Bastards.
Nice.
Yep. The idea of this here, and I'm not going to do it justice, but this is what the press release said, and people who've played the game will understand this a lot more than I do just reading this.
Yeah.
This DLC, which is set to be around about 10 hours in content, sees you accompanying a group that protect the roads.
Okay.
It links directly to it can straight directly from a side quest from the main game.
Right.
So someone who's done everything will have more, which is quite nice. It's like kind of a spin-off game. Similar to what The Witcher done, and those DLCs were fucking amazing. And this piece of DLC has multiple endings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's got 3 different endings for you to find based on the choices you make with the company of the road. I think they are called the Band of Bastards. That's what it is. It was very vague on whether it meant you're with an official group or whether you're pirates on the road or what. I don't know what it is.
Well, maybe there'll be your choices along the way, which you'll end up as. Either you'll be an official group or you'll be like a group of bandits.
Yeah, maybe. But also with its new armour and new weapons. So people who play that game will probably be really into the fact that it's new armour and weapons. And annoyingly, it's a game I haven't given time to. I like the idea of the combat. That's quite cool in it. The whole the short sword wielding stuff. But no, it's DLC's out now. Band of Bastards. If you're interested in it, let us know in the comments. And if you recommend playing a game, because it's a game that went very quiet.
It did, yeah.
I didn't hear many people going mad about it. And like the odd bug here or there in a massive open world RPG, I'm fine with. I mean, Bethesda get away with fucking releasing them all the time.
They even fix their things with more bugs and reintroduce old bugs. Don't
Then you were about 76.
Yeah.
And then they shut down the whole game for 2 days because they made such a mess of the new update.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't mind bugs in indie games. We're like, yeah.
Yeah. Our final piece of news. Beacon. Beacon's a game that I showed trailer. I saw this game 2 years ago in a trailer and was like, yeah, it looks generic as a top-down twin-stick shooter, but I liked the art style, I liked the music that was going with it, and I liked the general aesthetic of the game. It's entering, again, slightly odd on this one, but it's entering early access on the 27th of February. It's developed by it's developed by a team that have kind of several devs that have come together to create a super dev. That's what happens. You click on a website.
The Voltron of
super
devs.
dev. That's it. Yeah.
Brilliant.
The them crooked. What's that band called with Dave Grohl, the guy from Queens of Stone Age?
Oh right.
Them Crooked Vultures.
Probably.
I think it's them Crooked Vultures.
I don't.
Like you know, they call them Supermans. It's like Dave Grohl.
Oh yeah.
Monoglyph. Have I said that right? Monophetic. Monoglyph.
Let's just make something up.
Monoglyph or Monophetic, your choice. Monophetic is the developers behind it, the super developers behind it. It's a roguelite, a futuristic shooter. It's been in development for between 5 and 6 years now. Like I said, you can see a trailer play now. What did you think when you saw the trailer play?
I like the look of it. I kind of got bored of the whole twin stick. We've see, my issue is we've gone through periods where everyone did a roguelike. And then, it started off with everyone did a twin stick shooter. Mm-hmm. And then we played so many twin stick shooters. They just like a ton of them came out. And then everyone went roguelike and you were like, fine, I'll play the same game again and again and again. And yeah, okay, I'll take a bit. And I just get bored. I get bored of it. I'm sorry. I can play it a few times and go, yeah, that was fun, but I'm not going to be sticking in hours and hours and hours of playing the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people do you know have completed Dead Cells?
Not many.
Not many at all. And Dead Cells was like, oh my god, it's so tight, it's amazing. And then not many people completed it. Why? Because you get bored.
Depends what your class completing. Do you mean defeat the final boss or collecting everything?
Defeat the final boss.
Yeah. Well, your brother almost done it on his first run.
He did, yeah.
He got through to the final. He didn't realise it was the final boss. And afterwards in chat, I was like, yeah, by the way, that was the final boss. Yeah.
So, I mean, that type of thing, I do like the look of it. It does look good. I do like the soundtrack. There's lots to it, but it's not one I'm really going to get hyped for because it's a twin stick shooter roguelike.
Yeah. I mean, when I said I'm excited for it, it's not like it's not Ooblets. I'm not like
Cat's Quest 2. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not nearly wet myself over the fact that it's getting a release date, but I just saw it like I said, I saw it 2 years ago and was like, do you know what? As you said, we see so many twin stick shooters, so one to stand out means it has to have something
more, to it.
And it looked. I'm purely going on aesthetics at the moment. I've got the game. I've got the game installed on Steam. I know it's not out for 27th February, but It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Screw you guys.
Yeah. That's the only reason we do this, free games. Fuck you lot.
Yeah.
Don't care about the audience, got to do this, it's just ticking the boxes.
Yeah.
Send me the games! Cool, that's, yeah.
That's the only honest bit of the show so far.
But no, yeah, so I have got the perks played. There is going to be, again, by the time this podcast goes live, there will be a what is video. So it'll be the first 30 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah.
And me kind of, if you don't know what is videos are, just literally playing the game for the first time and sharing my impressions as they happen. Oh, that was cool. This feels a bit shitty, or this, or like this here. Now, if the game's been in development for 5 years and it's gone in early access, my guess is the game will be releasing on consoles in about 6-7 months' time. The reason it's gone to early access is I reckon they want to stress test servers for like high scores and things like that. That's my only guess. It's not a multiplayer game.
Shouldn't really have to stress test for high scores. It's
Yeah.
not going to be
unless
that
there
much
is
stress.
unless there is a multiplayer element to it. But my guess is whatever servers are going on there.
Yeah.
If you've been in them for 5 years, I'm guessing that's all they want to do.
Or maybe they're trying to earn some money so they can get it across.
The consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. And I don't know. It's, Trev, you might know this, and you can answer our question for us. That'd be great in the comments.
Yeah.
Is it cheaper to put a game on Steam in early access than it is fully release? I wonder if that's why indie devs go, we'll put it out in early access for now because it's cheaper. As in, we don't like maybe Steam don't take as much money. Yeah, or just put it to Epic. That's an argument.
Yeah, I don't know. 'Cause I haven't published a game, so
but,
I mean,
I'll be interested to know that if it's cheaper on early access or full
but
release.
if you make more money from the early access,
yeah,
move in
and
there.
that's why some of them do that. That's why Pray for the Gods or even Beacon are doing that to get them more money to then go, oh, it's now out. Maybe the game's actually finished. I've not played it yet. I can't tell that.
Yeah.
But or maybe they're worried about. There's a couple of things here and there they want to tweak, but they're ready to get it out.
Because they need to get them. It's been in 5 years. They've got to be running short on funds.
Possibly.
For it.
But anyway, 27th of February, the game will go live on Steam Early Access. And if you want to know my thoughts on it, then you can watch the What Is video, which will be live by the time this podcast live on the Indie Credible YouTube channel. And that's it for news.
That's it.
That is it for the news.
All gone.
Apart from one last topic, which we're going to cover as our main topic. And it's a big one. It's a biggie. So earlier in the week, Monday I want to say,
Right.
I saw it come through on IGN, but then everyone else started releasing it as well, and it all come round from GDC, the upcoming event in the Games Development Conference in San Francisco. Xbox put forward a paper, patent, whatever you want to call it, an idea. Something you have to put forward these papers for the show of what you're going to be showing off and doing at the show. And one of them was Xbox Live on the Nintendo Switch and iOS and Android devices.
Yes.
So this is all part of their xCloud that we spoke about in the past. The idea of playing your Xbox game console anywhere in the world through streaming.
Yes.
So it's important to say this isn't a case of you're going to be able to manage, control well, I'm guessing you're not actually going to have your Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live on the Switch. It'll be streamed. Like your games aren't going to be installed on the Switch. I don't know. We don't know, but I guess not, because fucking Forza Horizon downloaded on your Switch. You need one fucking SD card for that one game.
Yeah,
So
that's fucking true.
I'm guessing it's going to probably be a streaming jobby. But it is there, and Nintendo have confirmed that they are chatting to Microsoft, and that there is going to be Xbox Live on the Nintendo Switch and Android devices, purely for the fact that Game Pass can be played on the Nintendo Switch.
Okay. So the bit I mean literally I found it, as you know, listening to this, but I've just found out a bit about it. So the bit I've just read in there, and the bit that on one of the websites and with the press on there is that okay. So you've got all that, but they're talking about the fact that because you'll be able to log into your Xbox account while playing the Switch, you'll gain achievements for your Xbox games. So if I'm playing Warframe on my Switch, I can connect it to my Xbox account and I'll gain achievements. If I'm playing Minecraft on my Switch, I'll get Xbox achievements for it.
So you brought it from the eShop Nintendo eShop, Minecraft.
Yeah, and then I'll link
it
it to my Xbox account. But I can also then play with anyone playing on Xbox or PC, and it will all be linked through my Xbox Live account. So you get Xbox servers for playing this. So you're not playing with Nintendo's shitty whatever the fuck they're saying is online. You're playing through Microsoft's online systems. So you're talking about a solid online gameplay experience.
So at first, I'll be honest, I was like, why? My first impression was, why do they need to do that? And then I thought about it, and I was like, this is genius. Because to play that, you're going to need an Xbox Live subscription.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you've got kids, who've just got Switch accounts. Just got Switch. And all of a sudden, their friends have got Xbox, and they're playing Fortnite. Actually, Fortnite's a bad example, because you don't need an Xbox Live. But they're playing a game on Switch. Sorry, on Xbox. Minecraft, maybe. And you go, actually, I can play with them. Oh, Mum, I just need the £60 a year subscription to be able to do it.
To be able to have Live.
And I need this other £120 subscription to be able to get the Xbox Game Pass. So all of a sudden, Xbox have opened up their horizons to so many more consumers.
Yeah.
And is this a way of Xbox putting one foot in front of Sony ahead of the next console wars?
Oh, this is a Sony killer. If this works, and if this goes with that, because Sony have fucked up multiplayer by not making everyone be able to play with each other. Nintendo and Microsoft have been on Twitter constantly mocking Sony. Now, if they go through with this and go together, well, no, that's Sony. Why would you play? Sony have always had the advantage of that's the one you go on to play with your friends, because Sony was such a massive seller that's where you.
They
go
have
to
got
play
one
with your
another
mates.
Martin's disc console war. They do have substantially better first party games.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But once we link, because the next console coming out, and all the rumours are that Microsoft are going purely online. You're not going to have a disc drive. It's all going to be downloads. And if that goes along and you'll be able to get your Epic Store and everything like that, and they're just streaming, that means you get every game a PC would get.
Well, yeah.
Which then means your Nintendo Switch, if they're streaming, we don't know on this bit, but if they're able to stream, that means you get every game you get on PC on your Switch.
Well, no, I think it would have to be compatible. For example,
well, yeah, it's got to be able to.
I know, your brother plays on PC and he hasn't got an Xbox, and almost all the games on Xbox Game Pass aren't compatible on PC. He can't play them on PC. If they say they're on PC, like even Forza, if it says it on PC, it runs like shit on PC.
Right.
So at the moment, he doesn't have the Game Pass because I think there was 3 games, Forza being one of them, that said it's PC compatible, and it just ran like shit. Gears of War 3 he said was like amazing on console, but it was so badly optimised
for PC.
Like, it literally made his PC nearly die. He was saying, running that game.
Yeah.
So there's work to be done there, but you. Like you said, theoretically,
if you can do all of that lot, then that's actually 2 console gaming groups
that
go with everyone. We already know that Nintendo are moving a lot of games onto iOS. So we're getting Mario Kart on there and that lot. Well, does that mean we're going to be able to then get those on Microsoft? Which can you imagine playing, Smash Bros with that many different people? You get all the Xbox lot, you get all the Switch players. Finally, that.
I mean, complete fair play to going into this console war. I use console war as an example, but this generation. I know Switch was late to the generation, but you would have assumed if any company is going to stick to themselves with Nintendo, they don't play ball. They kind of do what they want to do.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking clever because I think there's no denying Sony are that far ahead of both Xbox and Switch this generation. They fucking smashed it. That Sony have already confirmed they're not at E3 this year. They're not here.
Yeah.
The rumours are that because they're building everything up for PSX, the PlayStation Experience, where they're going to say this is PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Get it next fall. That's the rumours, and that's if they're not at E3. That's what I'm guessing. They want hype on their own conference, which is fair enough. Microsoft have rubbed their hands together and said, "Oh yeah, we're definitely at E3." Nintendo says, "Yeah, we're definitely at E3,
and we're together."
I wouldn't be surprised if this whole thingy is trialled to the press at E3. If they go, "Here you go, this is what it works like," and that blows away E3, people are like, "Oh my god, I can literally play Forza Horizon 4 downstairs on the sofa." Now there will be latency issues to a certain extent because you're streaming. So if you're playing a racing game, it's not the end of the world. If you're playing certain games,
Shooters, it's going to be a bugger for.
Cupheads, maybe not. But yeah, shooters, like you said, fighting games. I mean, you wouldn't play a fighting game on your Switch anyway, but I wouldn't anyway.
But it's all the other ones. It's the fact that you can play with anyone. And so many more games now. I mean, we were talking about Apex Legend. That's about a team game. It's people coming together and playing together.
Yeah.
And that's what I think this next generation is going to really be about. It's about getting people to play together. It's no longer... They're trying to pull away from this it's you against the world situation.
Is that going to be
let's come together and play?
Microsoft's tagline, you know?
I think it's going to be Nintendo and Microsoft's tagline, let's play together.
Because you know... Sony had for the gamers or for the players.
For the players.
For the players. Do you reckon Xbox can be like, let's just play together?
Let's play together.
It's so good,
but not with you, Sony. And they're just there, crying.
Well, Sony come out and said this week that PS5 is backwards compatible.
Yeah, which is good.
It's good.
I like that.
Xbox come out and said, cool, well, you can play our stuff on the Switch.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But also, actually, thinking about it, because of course they have logs of all your games now, and if you're just streaming, well then you're backwards compatible, aren't you? Because you can go, well actually we see you already own that game, there you go. Play it.
Yeah.
Or what, I can just download that.
It's very interesting. And it is, again, I mean, it's great for indies because having Game Pass on the Switch means people will be like, oh my God. And I see all these indies, and then if you're clever enough and you're one of the intelligent people out there and you watch the Indie podcast, you'll know that we talk about indies that are regularly on the Game Pass, and we often play them and we give them a go and we shut up. So you can be like, oh, I'll jump on that there, and it brings a whole new context to Nindies. Like,
it also adds the one thing that the Switch is missing: trophies.
Yeah, but
I mean, you don't really have that, do you? You don't have that achievement drive for playing your games on the Switch.
You do if you get.
But if you're on your Xbox account and you're getting those trophies, but that's even better as well. Because one of the things that really annoys me is, of course, I've got my trophies on PlayStation and I've got my trophies on Xbox.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm having to separate between the two. Well, actually, if I'm just constantly ending in that one, what am I going to concentrate more on? Well, my Xbox trophies now, because I can get them on my Switch and on my Xbox. Why bother with my PlayStation?
Yeah.
I know they're not called trophies on the other one, but
yeah, no, it's interesting. And
good game's that.
GDC's in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks time.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's where behind scenes people are going to get their hands on it, because GDC, for those who don't know, is Game Developer Conference.
Yeah.
Lots of press go there because they get to play games that are like, we're talking very early concept of games, but the actual idea of it is developers go there and play other people's games that are very early stages, and they go, oh, I done this, I made this jump coding by doing this, and I done this here, and they share ideas. They share engines as well, as far as I know. Like, lots of indie companies go there and get engines off bigger people and say, oh, can we use your... Yeah, perfect. But yeah, I'm no doubt in 2-3 weeks' time, we won't have much on it. We talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want to keep up to date with it, I've found so far for this coverage, the best website I've found is Eurogamer for the coverage of this. Eurogamer's been really good for the coverage of this story. And they're
definitely want to keep
Eurogamer Brighton based, they're local. So,
nice.
Yeah, all based in Brighton.
They won't be able to be called Eurogamer much longer then.
Probably not. Brexit Gamer.
Brexit Gamer,
yeah, Brexit Gamer is probably the best website I found for it. But no, that is that's it. I mean, it's definitely something to keep your eye on.
Yeah,
Xbox on the Switch.
That's going to be good for indie games.
And it's why Nintendo probably going, do you know what, we don't have not necessarily the resources, but we're not interested in being the most powerful console out there. However, you can play the most powerful consoles games on our device.
They probably don't want to deal with the networking side. I mean, their Game Pass thing has not been great, has it? Not their Game Pass, sorry, their online service hasn't been a big moment for them. So for them, they can go, you know what, you guys deal with that.
Although there are rumours of SNES games coming very soon.
Yeah, they found it in the background of the codes.
And they get a list of games.
Yeah.
I was happy and disappointed. Happy because Link to the Past is in there. And I'll definitely play that again.
Yeah.
Very unhappy that there wasn't a single Final Fantasy game in there. The SNES was home to some of the best Final Fantasy games. Put that shit on there now, or I'm sacking you.
As long as Mario RPG turns up at some point, I'll be fine. I don't need a Final Fantasy one. I think you'll bloody love Mario RPG.
Possibly.
I think it will tick all the right bits for you.
Possibly. I need to talk to you about a game in the post show.
Okay.
That your brother introduced me to, and he's a trolling bastard.
Yeah, you are, Tom.
Yes, Tom, you are. And you know what game I'm talking about. And if you want to hear me talk about it, Tom, and here to talk about you...
You've got to pay $1.
You've got to pay $1.
Cheap shit.
But yeah, that is going to wrap up this week's Indie Crowd podcast, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, watching, listening, whatever you chose to do. If you enjoyed it, then brilliant. Great. Look forward to next week. If you watch it on YouTube, then give it a little like and make sure you subscribe to Indie Credible. It allows you to keep up to date with the latest indie game news. We try to bring you 2 or 3 videos a week. We bring you a release video, we bring you a monthly hot list video, we bring you a weekly podcast, weekly indie game news video. We do quite a lot for a small channel.
Considering we only ask you $1 on Patreon, come on, guys.
Yeah, and that's
come
it.
on.
We are on Patreon, and this whole podcast, if you watched it with ads, then unfortunately you could have got rid of those ads for $1 over on Patreon, as well as joining our Discord channel, as well as going to hear what we're going to talk about now about a trolling little game that Tom introduced me to. It's not a little game either. It released 2 years ago and went under the radar, and it shouldn't have gone under the radar. But yes, as always, I've been Lewis. You can find me at What's Up Woody, and Dan, you can find at The Dice Bear.
Yeah, just type that in and you'll find me.
Anywhere. Google, Tinder,
Pornhub.
Anywhere. That's it. He's there. God knows what you find.
Oh my God, yeah. What would you find?
I don't know.
Right, someone out there.
No, don't.
The Dice Bear in Pornhub. I don't want to link.
8-year-old kids.
Oh God, yeah, no.
Going,
no, yeah, don't.
What are you doing? Oh well, just man I watched on YouTube.
He told me to go to Pornhub.
And so I've been The Dice Bear. This come up, mummy.
I am not responsible for your actions. You make your own choices in life.
Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Patreon, stick round. And until next week, you stay indie credible.
Bye.